Isn't that interesting? I thought it was. And I wanted to make the point that a lot of people said Floyd was holding excessively. And I will tell you why they said that. There are two reasons. The first reason is that, and he was holding excessively, but what was interesting about it is he really should have been warned by Kenny Bayless in rounds 8 and 9. If it wasn't for rounds 8 and 9, it would be a normal fight, and the average would have been 3 holds per round, which is not bad. But in rounds 8 and 9, in round 8 where Marcos Maidana bit him, he was excessively holding Marcos Maidana. And then in the 9th round where he was beating up on Marcos Maidana, but he was Marcos Maidana actually was initiating some of the holds there. In the first fight, Tony Weeks did warn Floyd Mayweather twice for excessive holding. The first time was in round 4 when he was saying break. You have to break when I say break. And in round 5 at the end of the round, he said, you need to break when I say break. You're holding. Floyd got cut in round 4. And let me tell you what the holds were in round 4. In round 4, the holds went up to 10 holds per round, which is a hold every 18 seconds. And then in round 9, he again excessively held. He held for 9. He had 9 holds per round. So, if you do recall, if all Kenny Bayless had to do was warn Floyd, that's it. He didn't have to penalize him, nothing like that. He just needed to warn him, and that would have been good. But he didn't do that. Now, Kenny Bayless doesn't usually warn people for holding, but still, he should have done that. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, but what's interesting is the second fight actually had less holds than the first fight. And then even more interesting is the fight of Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana. This second fight had less holds than all the other fights I just talked about, except for Leonard versus Duran, the second fight. Okay, Leonard versus Duran, the second fight, actually had less holds. I believe if Kenny Bayless had warned Floyd Mayweather for holding, especially in the 8th round, I don't think Marcos Maidana would have bitten him. And because Kenny Bayless didn't warn Floyd Mayweather, I believe that's why the fight got out of control right there. I had no problem with Kenny Bayless breaking the fighters. I had no problem with that, but I did have a problem with him not warning Floyd at all throughout the fight, especially the 8th and 9th rounds for holding excessively. All refs I've seen, in fights, when the fighter is holding excessively, they actually warn the fighter. But the truth of the matter is that that fight had less holds than the first fight, in which the referee allowed them to continue infighting and so on. The other thing was, people said Kenny Bayless didn't allow Marcos Maidana to fight on the inside. I think Marcos Maidana's fight strategy was a little bit different. He was trying to create some distance and attack Floyd. So Marcos Maidana didn't really have too much of a problem with not fighting on the inside as close to Floyd as he usually does, because Floyd's kind of slippery on the inside anyway. So Marcos Maidana was most effective at mid-range. That's why you didn't see Marcos Maidana so much on the inside. He wasn't complaining to the referee too much about it, because he was more interested in attacking Floyd at mid-range. And he really did have a good degree of success, especially in round 4, and he was starting to have it at the end of round 3. And that jab was just giving Floyd trouble. So Marcos Maidana was actually doing some pretty good boxing. When he started to go wild and crazy, it really was ineffective. But when he mixed his overhand rights and his left hooks with the straight shots, it actually had an effect on Floyd, especially in round 4. Floyd started to adapt that stuff in round 5. Round 6, he started to learn him. And by round 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, Floyd had figured him out. But what I'm saying is Marcos Maidana is still going to give that division a hell of a lot of trouble. Not only is he tough, but he can box a little bit now. and that signals a lot of problems for a lot of people in the division. But in closing, what I'm saying is to you guys that when you compare the Amir Khan, Mickey Bay, Mayweather Maidana first fight, Sean Porter, Kell Brook fights, and Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran, the first fight, to this second fight with Mayweather and Marcos Maidana, they all have more holds per round than this fight. Isn't that interesting?